Okay everybody, what's up? I'm back with another critique for someone that sent in some video footage to me. Now, they sent in me a video footage of them doing a running, punching front flip, so I'm going to critique that real quick and then give some advice for being able to do it better. So the main thing that we have to realize here is that in the video that you're seeing here is they're doing the right motions, they're just doing them at the wrong time, and then they're also not able to really create the amount of springiness they need to get lift off the ground. So first thing I want to look at here is if you look at the video, you can see as they're coming in to the flip or about to take off, they are hitting an angle which is going to allow them to get up into the air, but they take too long to come out of that angle, and then therefore they're actually doing a coming into a downward motion angle going into the skill. So that immediately brings us to something called blocking. And what is blocking? Blocking is a striking angle of input you put into the ground that allows you to pop up as well as create rotation straight off the floor. So if you're looking at or thinking about doing a front flip or a back flip, this is a running front flip and or a round off back flip. It has to be done that way or otherwise you can't block properly. So anyway, let's say this is the direction you're traveling going that way. If you are going to do a front flip, that means that your feet, point of contact with the ground, has to be in front of your head and your hips right there. If you're going to go backwards, let's say you're doing a back flip, okay, same thing. You're coming backwards out of a round off going this way, and then your feet will hit the ground there, and your shoulders have to be there. Now, you can also do this from being straight up and down, but you're not going to get the maximum amount of height you would get as you would coming in at that angle. So that is the idea of blocking, going the direction you're traveling, trying to get your feet in front of you. And the people that understand how to use this concept the most tend to get the most height out of their skills. You see it also in cheat gainers or corkscrews, the angle in which you're coming in, getting your foot in front of your center of mass, allowing you to take advantage of that momentum going that direction. But that's not the only problem, because you could be doing that perfectly well, but not striking the ground hard enough with some force to make you go up in the air quick enough. So the first thing that I'm seeing with you right now with this skill is that you are trying to hit that blocking angle. It's a good job there, but you are not coming off the ground quick enough, so you have to increase the speed in which you come off the ground. The other thing I noticed too is that you don't fully extend your legs. It's really hard to do that, especially on hard ground. After you're pushing off the ground, you have to think about fully extending your legs and striking the floor hard, because you're using a punching method. In the punching method, you're striking the floor with the ball of the foot and then pressing through the ground to come up into the air. It's really hard to do on hard ground. It's not impossible. It's just something that has to be practiced a lot in order for you to do that. And most of the time in gymnastics or acrobatic classes, they focus on that skill individually before moving on to be able to do a punch front, because you have to master that before being able to do the next part of the rotation. So that's the next thing you want to think about, is that how fast you're coming off the ground. Are you pushing through your legs quick enough? Are you extending through your legs enough to get that height in there? That's another element that you have to work on. Also, the method in which you take off the ground, being either punching or gather step. I never really got into the gather step. I did more of an underarm swing. What I'm going to do for you though is I have a link. Hopefully it'll come through in the Instagram video below, or if anybody wants this link, I have a video of slow motion using the blocking. You can see the angle in which I'm coming in at. Whether or not you use gather step or punching, the blocking remains the same. So there's no way to kind of get away from that if you want to maximize the use of that angle coming in. The next thing I noticed is that after you take off the ground, your flip's kind of slow. It's fast in the upper body, but slow in the lower body. So what does that mean? It means that we're not utilizing the ability to heel drive, and that's a very kind of weird concept to figure out, because again, it's usually something that's developed separately from doing the whole skill. It's hard to think about it when doing the whole skill. Usually you learn this skill on a trampoline or some kind of rebounding device prior to doing it. That's why they usually teach front handsprings and back handsprings before teaching you how to do front flips and back flips. There's a reason why they have that progression. But this is pretty much what it is. You can see in the video attached to this one, me practicing what heel drive can be, how you can feel it, and how you can practice it on your own, so long as you have something to put your body on top of and you can let your legs swing up and down. But yeah, the idea that you're driving the heels up and over your body, that's carrying you over in your flip. So that'll speed up your flip if you can learn how to master that. Again, it's a hard thing to feel, and usually people practice it on a rebounding device before moving on to another, before incorporating it into a front flip or a back flip. And back flip would be more of a toe drive or lifting the toes up and over, whereas a front flip would be heel drive, side flip would be ankle drive, driving it to the side. So it doesn't really matter. You're using your feet to pull up and over your body. That's again why they use those progressions when developing these skills in gymnastics. I also wanted to show you a couple of quick pictures from this gymnastics book that I have, where this one shows the same idea about the blocking angle. Whereas you get the most amount of lift if your feet are behind your shoulders and hips, take off there. You get more rotation if you're more vertical, and then right here shows you will travel backwards or forwards a lot if your hips are behind your impact zone right there. So this is why back handsprings, you want your feet to be in front of your body, coming out of the round off to make the back handspring easier. For more lift, you want the feet behind you. For more rotation, you want to be stacked directly on top of it. And then the other part here, it just shows kind of one of the things. This can be reversed for your front flip as well. So if we just turn this person around real quick, for you specifically, you're striking the ground like this, so it's going to push you back the other direction and going into that position, right? Whereas this person's doing a backflip, they're pushing in the ground, it's going to push in the other direction. It is not the tuck that makes you flip, it just speeds up rotation, so just remember that. So if someone says tuck tighter, that is true, it will help you rotate quicker, but it's not what rotates you. What rotates you is a combination of the impact with the ground, hitting that nice blocking angle, heel driving your heels over the top of your head and shoulders, and then closing the shape. You're chasing after your heels with your upper body. So that's a lot of stuff in there. The things you need to focus on is how fast you can take off the ground, pushing through the ground. And I also would recommend you look at the heel drive thing I did on that video. If you don't understand, I'll try to make a separate video for that. But learning how to master heel drive and punching off the floor, and then we can talk about kind of putting that into rotation. If you have both those things, learning how to kick out of the skill or push out of it so you land upright, that's a whole other ball game and takes a little more time in and of itself. Anyway, I hope this was beneficial to you. Let me know if it wasn't, or if it was, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks everybody for being a part of this journey, and I'll talk to you all soon.